my own source of creative love. Creative love, this creative love. The love you can give to yourself in this moment is boundless. You get to create it. Healing change doesn't come in the super, it comes in the subtle. And this is a lesson I think many people must learn in their own way when they embark on the self-awareness journey, which is, in my opinion, the better way to define this healing evolution experience, because it all stems off of how aware we are of our own autonomy to be and engage with ourselves in life in a way that is nourishing, in a way that is stemming from our hearts. Many people on this journey believe that their evolution must come through these moments of big shifts. And so they may go to ceremonies, plant medicine, big shamanic breath work journeys, expecting that something is just going to be able to pop open and they'll finally be able to rip out the weed of something within them that has been causing them suffering. And the problem I see with this approach is it's a very extractive relationship with our own being and our own body. And I think it can be largely tied to the way that we have learned to understand our body as something that has problems within it that need to be surgically removed. And I don't believe that true lasting healing and growth works this way, because I believe the body is meant to be met in real relationship. And a real relationship is formed through patience and trust and devotional listening. So many people are seeking to have these super experiences where they have a massive emotional release, or they have a moment of profound, fleeting clarity about who they are and the nature of this temporary reality. But their bodies are still holding on to the same story, and therefore the patterns and the inner dialogues and the sense of safety and belonging that they feel in their everyday life doesn't seem to shift in the way that they are expecting it should shift, in accordance to these super experiences that they have been seeking and grasping for through this conditioned extractive mentality that we have with our bodies. I think we spend a lot of time thinking about the ways that we could change. We spend a lot of time thinking about how we could optimize our lives and ourselves in order to be better, in order to even love ourselves more. We think about it a lot. We think about, well, if I just did this differently, that would make me a more loving person, or that would make me a more whatever, you fill in the blank. But when I say that our growth and our healing really happens in the subtle, I mean that it's through waking up in our everyday moment-to-moment experience and recognizing how we are trying is a mental thing, how we are trying to create change, to create shift, to create healing, to create love. And in those moments, there is a radical alternative option to let there be a doorway of simplicity, and to walk through that doorway, to acknowledge that there is a doorway of simplicity available. So in the moment that I'm thinking about, wow, if I really did this, if I really started doing this differently, if I really, maybe I should in that moment, if I acknowledge that there is a portal of opportunity right there with me to take a breath and to connect into my body and to connect into my experience and connect to the abundance of love that is always outstretched and available and around me. That becomes a subtle shift that is downloaded like pennies in the piggy bank. And some people are looking for how they can finally make a jackpot, these jackpot hits of getting $100 bills in their evolution. And they're like, I'm not interested in pennies for the piggy bank. I want to figure out how I can get my next $100 bill in my growth journey. And it's like, it's the piggy bank. It's the piggy bank that's going to take you farther. It's the little moments where you take a deep breath, where you connect to your body, connect to your experience, where you drop out of your mind and the narrative that it's running you on. And you decide with your own epic free will to let this moment be a subtle super moment. Subtle moments are the most super because you are the one engaging and you are the one directing the experience versus a super experience. Again, I'm mostly talking about like plant medicine experiences or really intense forms of healing. And I've been in the breathwork space for many years now and can attest to the fact that a lot of breathwork is centered around super experiences, trying to push open the body to get into something and extract it. And a lot of it isn't even framed to see it in that way. It just is that way by nature of people being pushed into intensity before they're truly ready, or they're following a facilitator's instruction and guidance to go deeper, faster, but they're not listening to their body's consent in the process. A side note that I feel I want to add is that it's not that having super experiences, it's not that having a intense journey of whatever shape or form can't be beneficial. They can be, depending on where someone is in their journey and how well connected they already are to themselves, because that will determine their ability to integrate said super experience, the awareness they get, the big emotional release they may have, be able to then take that experience and blend it into their subtle micro moment, day-to-day experiences. That's the only way that any super experience actually becomes shifting material. And this has become the basis for how I guide someone into an intimate experience with their breath and their own body, so that their breath becomes a bridge into having a more sovereign and wider awareness that allows them to understand that it is within their own power to feel who they are without taking them out of their body into this intense super experience. It can be more easily integrated because it is being accessed straight from within themselves versus pushed upon them through an external cadence that is not taking into consideration where their body is, what their body is ready for. Is this still recording? To summarize this, I really want to empower anyone who's watching this to start to see the super in the subtle and start to really reorient their perspective to the opportunity that lies in the moments that we so often overlook, which is there's infinite moments available to us, and the littlest shifts of connecting to ourselves instead of thinking about ourselves, relating to ourselves as if there was another human being right there in front of you, and you wanted to connect to them deeply. You wanted to feel them. Say that person, that friend was sitting in front of you and they're opening their heart about something that's going on in their lives, and you felt the impulse to be as close into their experience as you possibly could be, to share that with them, to let them know that you were in that moment and not just listening from a distance. How would you lean in? How would you maybe grab their hands, bring your eyes to their eyes, and what would your energy feel like? It would feel like it'd be opening to envelop them. This leaning in energy, I want to invite you to explore how you could apply that to yourself in moments where you are absorbed in your life through a mental perspective of it. I mean, I just know from witnessing myself on the self-awareness journey how much of the time my life is just being lived through this peripheral mental awareness versus being here in my body, enveloping myself in this moment, in the experience that I'm having. Because when I do that, when I come into this experience, when I come back into my senses, I come back into the physical sensations that I'm having, as well as then using the physical sensations that I can be aware of to bring myself back into attunement of the inward sensations I'm having. Oh, okay, actually, like in this moment, if I go fully into my lower half, I realize that my calves were kind of uncomfortably touching this chair. Now I'm inside of my body. Now I'm communicating. I'm letting my body show me feelings that I was not previously fully engaged with and aware of. Now I'm in my experience. I'm in my experience. Everything is dialed up, everything is tuned higher. And it feels like I just got plopped into a wider awareness of reality. Now, just by having this moment of pulling myself into wider awareness, I now have the ability to unlock so many more choices. We don't have access to our full range of free will choices when we are only living our life through this peripheral distance mental awareness of ourselves, where we're just thinking about ourselves and we're thinking about our lives versus being in ourselves and in our lives. So now I have these possibilities to lead my experience, my current experience, through love. If you're asking, what does that actually tangibly look like to lead your experience through love? Once you come into a wider awareness of your experience, then you can bring yourself to your heart. And your heart can inform you of what it feels like to be connected, what it feels like to belong to yourself and to life and to your experience. And if you focus your awareness on your heart and you focus your awareness on softening, imagining that there's like some contraction and some protection, it's just something that happens byproduct of being so mental that our feeling body has to be bubble wrapped a bit. So when you come into curiosity with your heart, noticing if you could just imagine that whatever was put over your heart to protect it while you were out of your feeling embodied experience, if you could imagine that just dissolving, just softening, just melting a little bit. And then you're able to prompt yourself and ask yourself, how could I make this subtle moment powerful by choosing to be my own source of creative love? Creative love, this creative love. The love you can give to yourself in this moment is boundless. You get to create it. You get to create whatever statement you want to bathe yourself in this moment. I am so incredibly worthy of love being easeful. I'm gonna let this breath right here that I take be abundant nourishment, because I am the creative potential, and if I say it is, then it is so. And any thoughts of opposition to that breath being powerful, loving nourishment are just static noise from the character that you've believed you need to be, the character that is doubtful of your own beautiful, boundless, loving essence. That character may always be doubtful of your true, boundless, beautiful, loving essence. Those thoughts don't actually have to have any countering weight if you don't invest in them. So I just want to leave this with a last word of encouragement to start to tune into your sovereignty and your agency, to come back into your experience and decide how you want to make subtle twists of the dial in the most easeful possible way, and cast a net of awareness around yourself to see wherever you're thinking about how you could change, wherever you're thinking and trying to plan and optimize how you could better yourself, that is the moment where your higher essence, whatever you want to call it, the awareness of you that is in fluid relationship with the awareness of all that is love, is wanting to flood through you and remind you that in this moment, there is an easeful pocket of possibility for you to know and recognize yourself as the love that you are. And those little pennies, those little penny moments in your piggy bank become your new identity. They shape who you know yourself to be. And that is what changes your life. This body, this being is not something to extract and try to pull things out of so that you can be who you want to be. This being, this body is an intelligent portal to have relationship with, to connect into, to come to feed into, not pull out of. Come to the body with acknowledgement and reverence and respect that when you come into full engagement with your body and your reality, all of the potential is now yours. All of the potential is now yours.